Hi friends, I welcome you all at TNV Academy. Today we are going to talk about ISO 9001. Quality Management System QMS ISO 9001 defines the requirements for establishing, implementing, maintaining, and continually improving a quality management system within an organization. A QMS is a structured approach to managing processes and activities to ensure consistent product or service quality. Applicability. ISO 9001 is applicable to organizations of all sizes and industries, including manufacturing, service, healthcare, education, and more. It is used by both private and public sector organizations. Customer focus. ISO 9001 places a strong emphasis on meeting customer expectations and delivering customer satisfaction. It encourages organizations to understand and meet the customer requirements and to continuously improve processes to enhance customer experiences. Process approach. The standard promotes a process-based approach to quality management. It encourages organizations to identify, document, and optimize their key processes to achieve better consistency and effectiveness. Continuous improvement. ISO 9001 emphasizes the concept of continuous improvement, encouraging organizations to monitor and measure performance, identify opportunities for improvement, and take corrective and preventive actions as needed. Risk-based thinking. The latest version of ISO 9001, ISO 9001-2015, introduces a more explicit focus on risk-based thinking. Organizations are encouraged to assess risks and opportunities that may affect the achievement of quality objectives. Documentation. While ISO 9001 requires certain documented procedures and records, it also allows organizations flexibility in how they document their processes. This enables organizations to tailor their QMS to their specific needs. Certification. Organizations can choose to seek ISO 9001 certification, which involves a third-party assessment to verify compliance with the standards requirements. Certification can be a valuable way to demonstrate commitment of quality to customers and stakeholders. Global recognition. ISO 9001 is globally recognized and respected, making it a valuable tool for organizations seeking to compete in international markets or collaborate with global partners. ISO 9001 is part of the ISO 9000 family of standards, which provides additional guidelines and definitions related to quality management systems. It has been revised over the years to stay relevant and adaptable to changing business environments, with the most recent version being ISO 9001-2015. Benefits of ISO 9001. Improved product and service quality. ISO 9001 helps organizations establish and maintain consistent processes, leading to better product and service quality. This can result in fewer defects, reduced rework, and increased customer satisfaction. Enhanced customer satisfaction by focusing on customer needs and expectations. ISO 9001 helps organizations deliver products and services that meet or exceed customer requirements. Satisfied customers are more likely to return and recommend the organization to others. Increased efficiency. ISO 9001 encourages organizations to streamline their processes, eliminate redundancies, and optimize resource allocation. This leads to increased operational efficiency and reduced waste. Better decision making. ISO 9001 promotes data-driven decision making by requiring organizations to monitor and measure their processes. This enables management to make informed decisions based on performance data and trends. Risk management. ISO 9001-2015 introduced a stronger emphasis on risk-based thinking. Organizations are encouraged to identify and address risks and opportunities that can affect the achievement of quality objectives, leading to better risk management, consistency, and standardization. ISO 9001 helps organizations standardize their processes and procedures across different departments and locations. This consistency can lead to more predictable outcomes and easier management. Legal and regulatory compliance. ISO 9001 helps organizations stay in compliance with relevant laws and regulations, reducing the risk of legal issues and fines. Competitive advantage. ISO 9001 certification can give organizations a competitive edge in the marketplace. It can serve as a differentiator, demonstrating a commitment to quality that customers and partners may value. Market assess. ISO 9001 is recognized and respected internationally. Having ISO 9001 certification can make it easier for organizations to assess global markets and collaborate with international partners. Supplier relationships. ISO 9001 can strengthen relationships with suppliers. When both organizations have ISO 9001 certification, it can facilitate smoother supply chain operations and better quality control. Leadership commitment, setting the tone. Top management sets the tone for the entire organization. Their visible and active commitment to ISO 9001 sends a clear message to all employees that quality and the QMS are a priority. This helps foster a culture of quality throughout the organization. Resource allocation. ISO 9001 requires the allocation of resources, including financial and human resources, to implement and maintain the QMS. Top management is responsible for ensuring that these resources are available and appropriately allocated. Leadership and accountability. Top management is responsible for appointing a quality management representative, QMR, or similar roles to oversee the QMS. They also hold the ultimate accountability for the QMS's performance and effectiveness. Their involvement ensures that someone is overseeing the QMS and its objectives. Policy and objectives. ISO 9001 requires organizations to establish a quality policy and quality objectives. Top management is responsible for developing and communicating this policy and ensuring that it aligns with the organization's strategic direction. Continuous improvement. Continuous improvement is a core principle of ISO 9001. Top management commitment is essential to drive and sustain a culture of continuous improvement. They should actively encourage employees to identify and implement improvements. Risk-based thinking. ISO 9001-2015 introduced a stronger emphasis on risk-based thinking. Top management plays a critical role in identifying and addressing risks and opportunities that can affect the achievement of quality objectives. Monitoring and review. Top management is responsible for conducting management reviews of the QMS. These reviews assess the QMS's performance, identify areas for improvement, and ensure its continued suitability and effectiveness. Communication. Effective communication is essential for the successful implementation of ISO 9001. Top management must ensure that all employees are aware of the QMS's goals, objectives, and their individual roles in supporting it. Customer focus. ISO 9001 emphasizes the importance of meeting customer requirements and enhancing customer satisfaction. Top management should lead efforts to understanding customer needs and ensure that the QMS is aligned with these requirements. Legal and regulatory compliance. Top management is responsible for ensuring that the organization complies with all relevant laws and regulations. ISO 9001 can help in this regard by providing a framework for managing compliance, demonstrating commitment to stakeholders. ISO 9001 certification can be a powerful signal to customers, partners, and other stakeholders that an organization is committed to quality and excellence. Top management's support in achieving and maintaining certification is vital. Define the boundaries of your quality management system. Now, the steps to define your QMS boundaries are: identify your organization's functions and processes. Begin by identifying all the functions, processes, and activities within your organization. This may include departments, teams, product lines, services, and support functions. Determine what's included. Within the identified functions and processes, determine which ones are included in your QMS. These should be activities directly related to the quality of your products or services, as well as processes that support quality management. Consider external parties. In some cases, your QMS may extend beyond the organization itself. Consider processes and interactions with external parties, such as suppliers and contractors, that could impact the quality of your final products or services. Exclusions. Clearly specify any functions, processes, or activities that are excluded from your QMS scope. Be sure to justify these exclusions in your documentation. Document your scope statement. Create a formal statement that defines the boundaries of your QMS. This statement should be concise and easily understood. It should include the following: a description of the organization's functions and processes included in the QMS, a list of exclusions, if any, along with the rationale for those exclusions, a statement that your QMS conforms to ISO 9001:2015 for the included processes. Communicate your scope. Ensure that all relevant stakeholders within your organization are aware of and understand the defined scope of your QMS. This includes employees, management, and those responsible for QMS implementation. Regulatory review and update. Periodically review and update your QMS scope as your organization evolves. Changes in products, services, or business processes may necessitate revisions to your scope statement. Planning your QMS. Key steps in planning your QMS. Establish objectives. Begin by identifying specific quality objectives that align with your organization's strategic goals. These objectives should be measurable, achievable, and relevant to customer satisfaction and quality improvement. Determine scope. Clearly define the boundaries of your QMS. Identify the functions, processes, products, and services that fall within the scope of ISO 9001 compliance. Identify processes. Identify all relevant processes within your organization. This includes core processes that directly impact product or service quality, as well as support processes that contribute to the effectiveness of the QMS. Risk assessment. Conduct a risk assessment to identify potential risks and opportunities that may affect your ability to achieve quality objectives. Consider both internal and external factors. Resource allocation. Determine the resources, human, financial, and technological, required to support your QMS. Ensure that these resources are adequate and appropriately allocated. Roles and responsibilities. Define roles and responsibilities for individuals involved in the QMS. Assign key responsibilities for managing and maintaining the QMS. Documentation strategy. Develop a strategy for documenting QMS processes, procedures, and records. Ensure that documentation is consistent, accessible, and aligned with ISO 9001 requirements. Training and competence. Identify training needs and ensure that employees have the necessary competence to carry out their assigned roles effectively. Communication plan. Develop a communication plan to ensure that all employees are aware of the QMS, its objectives, and their roles in its implementation. Performance metrics. Define key performance indicators, KPIs, and metrics that will be used to measure the effectiveness of your QMS. These metrics should align with your quality objectives. Continuous improvement. Establish processes for monitoring, measuring, and evaluating QMS performance. Plan for regular management reviews to assess progress and identify opportunities for improvement. Documentation of the QMS plan. Document your QMS plan, including all the elements mentioned above. This plan should serve as a reference document for QMS implementation. Documenting your QMS. Key steps in documenting your QMS. Quality manual. This is optional. While ISO 9001 no longer requires a formal quality manual, many organizations choose to create one. A quality manual can serve as a high-level document that outlines the scope, structure, and key elements of your QMS. Document control procedure. Develop a document control procedure that defines how documents are created, reviewed, approved, updated, and archived within your organization. This procedure ensures document consistency and traceability. Process documentation. Identify and document all processes within your organization that are relevant to the QMS. This includes core processes and support processes. Process documentation should include process descriptions, process maps, and flowcharts where applicable. Work instructions. Create work instructions for specific tasks or activities within your processes. Work instructions provide detailed step-by-step guidance for employees to follow when performing critical tasks. Forms and templates. Develop forms and templates to support the collection of data and record keeping within your QMS. These forms should align with your documented processes and procedures. Records. Identify the records required to demonstrate the conformity and effectiveness of your QMS. This includes records of internal audits, management reviews, corrective and preventive actions, and other key activities. Training materials. Prepare training materials if necessary to ensure that employees are aware of the QMS and can perform their roles effectively. Training materials may include manuals, presentations, or e-learning modules. Responsibility matrix. Create a responsibility matrix or an organizational chart that outlines the roles and responsibilities of individuals within the QMS. This helps ensure accountability and clarity of your organization's structure. Document review and approval. Establish a formal process for reviewing and approving documents and changes to documents. This process should involve relevant stakeholders and ensure that documents meet ISO 9001 requirements. Version control. Implement a version control system to track changes and revisions to documents. Ensure that employees always use the latest approved versions of documents. Accessibility and distribution. Make documents accessible to authorized personnel and distribute them as needed. Consider electronic document management systems to facilitate access and control. Document retention and archiving. Define document retention and archiving procedures to ensure that records are retained for the required duration and can be retrieved when needed. Implementing processes. Key steps in implementing processes. Process identification. Begin by identifying all the processes within your organization that directly or indirectly impact product or service quality. This includes core processes that create value for customers and support processes that enable core processes. Define process objectives. Clearly define the objectives and desired outcomes for each identified process. Ensure that these objectives align with your organization's quality policy and overall strategic goals. Process mapping. Create process maps or flowcharts to visualize each process's steps, inputs, outputs, and interactions. This visual representation helps identify potential bottlenecks, redundancies, and areas for improvement. Standard operating procedures, SOPs. Develop standard operating procedures or work instructions for critical processes. SOPs provide detailed step-by-step guidance for employees, ensuring consistency in how tasks are performed. Resource allocation. Allocate necessary resources, including personnel, equipment, and materials to support the implementation of each process. Ensure that the employees have the required training and tools. Monitoring and measurement. Establish key performance indicators, KPIs, and metrics to monitor and measure the performance of each process. Regularly collect data and analyze it to assess process effectiveness. Roles and responsibilities. Clearly define roles and responsibilities for individuals involved in each process. Assign process owners and ensure that everyone understands their roles in ensuring process efficiency and quality. Risk management. Identify potential risks and opportunities associated with each process. Develop strategies to mitigate risks and exploit opportunities to improve process performance. Document control. Implement document control procedures to manage process-related documents, including process maps, SOPs, and forms. Ensure that all documents are up to date and accessible to relevant personnel. Training and competence. Provide training to employees involved in each process to ensure that they have the necessary skills and knowledge. Regularly assess competence and provide additional training as needed. Continuous improvement. Foster a culture of continuous improvement within each process. Encourage employees to identify opportunities for process enhancement and implement corrective and preventive actions as necessary. Audit and review. Conduct internal audits of processes to ensure compliance with documented procedures and ISO 9001 requirements. Review process performance during management reviews. Measuring performance. Key steps in measuring performance. Establish key performance indicators, KPIs. Identify and define key performance indicators that are relevant to your QMS and align with your quality objectives. KPIs should be measurable, specific, and tied to critical processes. Data collection and monitoring. Implement data collection methods and monitoring systems to gather information related to your selected KPIs. This may involve manual data collection or automated systems. Data analysis. Regularly analyze the collected data to assess performance against your established KPIs. Look for trends, variations, and areas where performance deviates from expectations. Root cause analysis. When performance issues or non-conformities are identified, conduct root cause analysis to determine the underlying causes. This helps you address the source of the problems rather than just addressing the symptoms. Corrective and preventive actions. Develop and implement corrective and preventive actions, CAPA, to address identified issues. Corrective actions resolve existing problems, while preventive actions proactively prevent their recurrence. Performance reporting. Generate performance reports that provide a clear overview of your QMS performance, including progress toward quality objectives and adherence to ISO 9001 requirements. Management reviews. Include performance measurement data in your management review meetings. These reviews should be conducted at regular intervals and involve top management to assess overall QMS effectiveness. Continuous improvement. Encourage a culture of continuous improvement within your organization. Use performance data to identify opportunities for enhancing processes, reducing waste, and increasing efficiency. Benchmarking. Consider benchmarking your performance against industry standards or competitors to gain insights into areas where your organization can improve and remain competitive. Customer feedback. Collect and analyze customer feedback and complaints as part of your performance measurement. This provides valuable insights into customer satisfaction and areas that may need attention. Internal audits. Conduct internal audits to evaluate QMS compliance and effectiveness. Audits help identify non-conformities and opportunities for improvement. Training and competence. Assess the competence and training needs of employees involved in critical processes. Ensure that employees have the necessary skills to perform their roles effectively. Continual improvement. Key steps in implementing continual improvement. Establish a culture of improvement. Create a culture within your organization that values and encourages continuous improvement. This involves engaging employees at all levels and fostering a mindset of innovation and problem solving. Set clear objectives. Define specific and measurable quality objectives that align within your organization's strategic goals. Objectives should be regularly reviewed and updated to reflect changing circumstances. Collect data and feedback. Gather data, feedback from employees, customers, and other stakeholders, and performance metrics to identify areas that need improvement. This information serves as a foundation for decision making. Root cause analysis. When issues or non-conformities arise, use root cause analysis techniques to determine the underlying causes. This helps address the source of problems rather than merely treating symptoms. Continuous monitoring. Continuously monitor and measure processes and performance against key performance indicators, KPIs. Regularly assess progress toward quality objectives and targets. Corrective and preventive actions. Implement corrective actions to address immediate issues and prevent their recurrence. Additionally, establish preventive actions to proactively avoid potential problems. Process optimization. Analyze your processes for inefficiencies, bottlenecks, and waste. Optimize processes to enhance efficiency, reduce costs, and improve quality. Innovation and best practices. Encourage innovation and the adoption of best practices. Stay informed about industry trends, emerging technologies, and new methodologies that can lead to improvements. Employee involvement. Involve employees in the continual improvement process. Encourage them to contribute ideas, suggestions, and feedback regarding process enhancements. Management review. Conduct regular management review meetings to assess the effectiveness of your QMS and identify opportunities for improvement. Involve top management in these reviews. Document improvement activities. Maintain records of improvement activities, including the identification of improvement opportunities, action plans, and outcomes. This documentation helps track progress over time. Training and development. Provide training and development opportunities to enhance the skills and knowledge of employees. Well-trained employees are better equipped to identify and implement improvements. Communication. Ensure that improvement efforts and their results are effectively communicated throughout the organization. Transparency fosters a sense of ownership and accountability. Celebrate success. Recognize and celebrate achievements and successful improvement initiatives. Acknowledging the contributions of employees and teams reinforces the culture of improvement. ISO 9001 certification process. Preparation. Gap analysis. Begin by conducting a gap analysis to assess your organization's current QMS against the requirements of ISO 9001. Identify areas where your QMS may need improvement or alignment with the standard. Commitment. Ensure top management commitment to pursuing ISO 9001 certification. Leadership support is crucial for a successful certification process. Documentation. Document your QMS. Develop and document your QMS based on the requirements of ISO 9001. This includes creating policies, procedures, work instructions, and records that demonstrate compliance with the standard. Internal audit. Conduct an internal audit of your QMS to ensure that it is functioning as intended and is ready for external assessment. Select a certification body. Choose an accredited third-party certification body. Accreditation ensures that the certification body is competent and impartial. You can find accredited certification bodies through accreditation organizations. Application. Submit an application to the chosen certification body expressing your intent to seek ISO 9001 certification. Stage 1 audit. Documentation review. The certification body will review your documentation and conduct an initial assessment, often referred to as a Stage 1 audit. The purpose of this audit is to assess the readiness of your organization for the certification process. The auditor will check if your documented QMS meets the requirements of ISO 9001 and whether it is effectively implemented within your organization. Stage 2 audit. On-site audit. The certification body will conduct an on-site audit, often called a Stage 2 audit. During this audit, the certification body's auditor will verify the effectiveness of your QMS through interviews, observations, and document reviews. They will assess whether your QMS is compliant with ISO 9001 and is consistently applied in your organization's day-to-day operations. Audit report and corrective actions. After the Stage 2 audit, the certification body will provide you with an audit report. If any non-conformities are identified, you will need to implement corrective actions to address them. Certification decision. Based on the audit findings and your corrective actions, the certification body will make a certification decision. If your organization meets the requirements of ISO 9001, you will be issued an ISO 9001 certificate. Certification maintenance. To maintain your ISO 9001 certification, you will need to undergo regular surveillance audits. These audits ensure that your QMS continues to meet the standards requirements and is functioning effectively. Continuous improvement. Even after certification, it's crucial to maintain a culture of continuous improvement within your organization. Regularly assess your QMS's performance and seek opportunities for enhancement. Conclusion. ISO 9001 is a quality management system, QMS standard. ISO 9001 provides a framework for organizations to establish, implement, and continually improve their quality management systems. Customer focus is paramount. ISO 9001 places a strong emphasis on understanding and meeting customer requirements to enhance satisfaction. Top management commitment. Leadership commitment is crucial for successful ISO 9001 implementation. Documentation and process control. Proper documentation and process control are essential to ensure consistency and compliance with ISO 9001. Measurement and improvement. Performance measurement, data analysis, and continual improvement are core principles of ISO 9001. Certification process. Achieving ISO 9001 certification involves a rigorous process, including documentation, audits, corrective actions, and ongoing surveillance. Emphasis on the ongoing nature of ISO 9001. ISO 9001 is not a one-time achievement, but an ongoing commitment to quality and improvement. Organizations must continuously monitor and measure performance against quality objectives. Identify areas for improvement and implement corrective and preventive actions. Maintain a culture of quality and continual improvement. Regularly review and update the QMS to adapt to changing circumstances. Embrace a customer-centric approach to meet evolving customer needs. For more information about our institute and other training programs, you can contact us through email or phone. I sincerely thank you for all your attention and interest.